Happy Friday morning. I'm going to show you a video clip here in a second of some ICE agents operating in a suburb outside of New Orleans. It was shot yesterday, I believe. The broader point is that we have a lawless Supreme Court right now. We have an utterly lawless Supreme Court. In a recent decision on the shadow docket, so there was no oral argument, there was no full briefing, the court's majority carved out an exception to the Fourth Amendment to the Bill of Rights against unreasonable search and seizure, and they carved out an exception to the Equal Protection Clause in the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution for Hispanic people on American soil. The court said that if you are speaking Spanish, if you are congregating somewhere where other Hispanic or Spanish-speaking people congregate, if you are doing a job that is typically associated with Hispanic or Latino people, then law enforcement does not need probable cause in order to stop you, detain you, and check your citizenship or arrest you, even if you're a U.S. citizen. In that decision, I wish it was a case arising out of ICE tactics that were being employed in Los Angeles County. I can't remember if it was Justice Kagan or Sotomayor wrote an absolutely scathing dissent along these lines. But most importantly, Brett Kavanaugh wrote a concurring opinion with that one paragraph order on the shadow docket, which he did not have to do. In that concurring opinion, he got all of his facts wrong and said that there's no harm in stripping 60 million Hispanic and Latino people in the United States, 50 million of whom are U.S. citizens, of their constitutional rights under the 4th and 14th Amendments to the Bill of Rights. So now these kinds of stops are being referred to as Kavanaugh stops. And what we are seeing in places like Chicago, Portland, Los Angeles, D.C., and now New Orleans is that ICE agents in 2 or 3 SUVs wearing their masks are simply driving around looking for people who appear to be Hispanic or Latino. And they're detaining them on the street. And the video clip that I'm about to show you is a young woman of Hispanic heritage who was born in the United States. She was born in New Orleans. She was raised in New Orleans, and she still lives there. She's 22 years old. She was walking home from the grocery store, and two vehicles full of masked ICE agents stopped and chased her down the street until she got into her driveway. Now, somebody got a legal update on the Fourth Amendment to these ICE agents because they stopped at the edge of her driveway. They did not follow her into her home and smash in her door. And she was yelling the whole time, "I was born here." But these types of lawless, unconstitutional, illegal stops based entirely on racial profiling, because that's what the court carved out an exception for. This current Supreme Court made racial profiling against Hispanic and Latino people in the United States legal. They made it legal without even writing a whole fucking opinion. And the concurrence that Justice Kavanaugh wrote got all of his facts wrong in that document. It was a 10-page concurrence. So now these are being referred to as Kavanaugh stops. But we have an utterly lawless Supreme Court right now. And I'll make a separate video yesterday. A lower court in Texas found that the Texas state legislature's gerrymandering of their congressional seats was explicitly a racial gerrymander, which is illegal. And this current Supreme Court reinstated that map yesterday. And they're like, not really. The findings of fact of the lower court is that this was a racial gerrymander, which is expressly illegal. The Supreme Court can't go fuck with that finding of fact by the lower court. and they did it anyway. And they did it on the fucking shadow docket. We have a lawless Supreme Court. Watch this clip.
Leave me alone!
Video obtained by CNN shows federal agents wearing ice vests chasing a woman back to her home in Metairie, Louisiana, a suburb of New Orleans. Jacelyn, 22-year-old mother, says she's a U.S. citizen who was born and raised in Louisiana. She asked that her last name not be used to protect her privacy. She says she was walking home from the grocery store when the masked agents attempted to approach her a few feet from her house. Jacelyn can be heard yelling at the men as she runs towards her home.
Leave me alone!
Moments later, a man identified as Jacelyn's stepfather is heard yelling at the agents before they are seen heading back to a vehicle.
No, you're the one making the statue.
We weren't even looking for you.
So get out of here.
Right.
So who are you looking for?
This is a public area.
Okay, but so I don't want to speak to you.
Well, I don't want to talk to you either. You're the one talking to me.
Hispanic people against Hispanic, bro.
CNN has reached out to the Department of Homeland Security for more information.